Hey Greg, how are you? So I really liked your idea of meeting up one last time to kind of finalize everything we've been working on and creating for the board presentation and for the training for the employees. So at the end, we'll kind of wait and we can decide what goes, what stays, and if we want to add anything or change something, that would be a good time. So what I would like to do, since you and I worked on all of this and created it, I just kind of want to highlight some of the bullet points, and just so you know the direction of what I plan. Clearly, you and I are educated on cultural competence. So I'd like to start by letting you know that I plan on emailing the employees ahead of time with the exercises that you had found and had me perform. I think that would be a really good idea to have them come to the training with them, because they'll play in nicely at the end of our training. They'll really work in good. So I gave you a copy of the handout, which that's what is going to be our base to start with for the training. And I think this will be a really good tool for the employees to refer back to whenever they need to, or it's a start for us as well, and we can let this grow and change as we need it. So I'm just going to walk you through kind of the outline. I'm going to give the board a little bit more in depth than you, but not quite the full training either. I don't think they really need a full training, just like we don't. So let me just go ahead and get started. So I will address them on cultural competence, what it means for us, how it's important, the kind of role it plays for everyone. And then on the left-hand side here of your handout is the communication with cultural differences can be difficult. That section is, I gave some examples, so I'm going to kind of touch on those with the employees about, what could possibly make communication difficult. What's an idea for the people that really have no base knowledge. And then here on the right, as you see, there's the verbal and nonverbal cues, and that's really, really big, huge part of this. So I am going to give examples, and I really would like to open this up to some experiences and some interaction and discussion with everyone, so that we're all, helping, each other understand, that there's so many different cues and so many different cultures that you really have to be aware of people's body language and what they're doing and why. So then if you flip that over, we're going to move into the cross-cultural relations. We know how important this is, because it's such a good skill to have. And why. So now that they know what we expect, here's the why, how it helps, like becoming aware of your own cultural limitations. It helps you work effectively with others. It helps provide social support to those in need. So I'm really going to hit on all those points for everyone. And then lastly, it brings us into the examples that I gave of, just maybe some experiences of what happens when you meet up with a culture, and how you can either be culturally competent, or how actions and beliefs and how it really dictates how conversations go and how things happen. So this is where we'll really transition nicely in with bringing in the autobiographies. I might ask one or two people to read theirs, or maybe just talk about what they learned after picking a culture for themselves, and really diving into defining yourself. Why do you do what you do? What makes you different from other people? And a little bit of that is what would happen to you if you were just planted in someone else's culture. Would you adjust? Would you conform to would you look around and try to do what everybody else wanted you to do? Or would you say, I'm American and this is what I do? So I think that's a really important piece. And then lastly, I really like the exercise of kind of exploring the other cultures, where first you define what you think you know, or what you may have learned along the way about a culture, and then researching that culture and really comparing the two. And it's so important, because there's just the things you learn, really. I was floored. I was really impressed with this exercise, and I have to say I was happy to do it. So I think that will be really, really key for them. And I think the board will really like that tool as well. I think that was great that you found that in your office. So with all that said, I think you and I have planned this out pretty well. Unless you have any objections, this is what I'm going to go ahead and present to them. And I think, maybe we can meet next week and go over the results. I know you planned on being at the board meeting. I'm not sure if you were going to the training, but, we can kind of reconvene later and see how things went and evaluate the situation and see what we need to do to grow and change. So thanks for your time, and I'll see you next week.